Rutgers professor Dr. Broccoli says his study is on why is New Jersey's climate changing. He creates a chart of past New Jersey temperatures using a computer. I can understand the logic of trying to determine future temperatures using present data, but why would anyone want to determine past temperatures using a computer, since we already have thermometer records of past temperatures? I didn't understand how one could determine the past record of temperatures in New Jersey using a computer. I later sat down next to Dr. Broccoli at a warmest presentation at Rutgers, so I asked him how he could determine the past climate in New Jersey using a computer. He said he used carbon dioxide records. Since Dr. Broccoli lists man-made carbon dioxide is the main cause of warming in the United States, we need to look at this chart showing the dramatic rise in carbon dioxide since the 1960s throughout the world to understand Dr. Broccoli's chart. There has been a rise in carbon dioxide. That is a fact. The question is, what caused the increase in carbon dioxide? The warmist claimed it was caused by man burning fossil fuels. The burning of fossil fuels is actually an insignificant player in the rise of carbon dioxide. On the left is Dr. Broccoli's chart, and the right is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's chart of the temperature for about the last 120 years. Both charts cover the same period. Dr. Broccoli's chart shows cold readings in blue and the warm readings in red, while the NOAA's chart shows the warm readings in red. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is referred to as NOAA. As I said, I have lived through 6 climate change. NOAA's chart conforms with my recollections, whereas Dr. Broccoli's chart contradicts my recollections. And NOAA's chart. Broccoli's chart shows the beginning of the 20th century to be cold. NOAA's chart shows it to be warm. Broccoli's chart shows the 30s to be cold, where in actuality it was extremely hot. Broccoli's chart shows the 40s to be hot, where it was cold, and Broccoli's chart shows this century to be hot, extremely hot, whereas it has been cool. Now, the first climate I remember was in the 1930s. When I was a young boy, it was so hot, I would frequently go inside to take a shower in order to cool down. This is the Environmental Protection Agency's chart showing the United States Annual Heat Wave Index, which confirms NOAA's chart and my recollection. The highest New Jersey temperatures ever recorded was 110 degrees Fahrenheit in July of 1936. The only time a Major League Baseball game was canceled due to heat was in 1936. We all know of the 1930s Dust Bowl, when such high temperatures were never before recorded. The heat was intense. There are numerous newspaper articles and books testifying as to the heat of the 30s, not only in the United States, but also in Europe. Dr. Broccoli's chart shows the 40s to be hot, whereas this chart shows it to be cold. The German invasion of Russia in the early 40s failed partly due to the extreme cold, where many Germans froze to death. In the 40s, I played ice hockey all winter outside because it was so cold. There would have been no ice if it was as hot as Dr. Broccoli's chart shows. This is the rink upon which I played ice hockey. When I was a junior in high school, I hoped to play on the senior team. Up till then, I had played on the junior team, but the ice never formed because it got warm in the 50s, as you can see here. During the 60s, right here, Paul Ehrlich had a friend, John Holdren, and they predicted a new ice age during the 70s when it was cold. And they blamed man's burning of fossil fuels. They said the soot from the burning of fuels would block out the rays of the sun. America was the biggest villain, since we burned the most fossil fuels. The heat of the 70s and 80s destroyed this anti-American theory. That didn't stop Ehrlich and Holdren. They adopted Al Gore's anti-American global warming theory, which blames man's burning of fossil fuels producing carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas, as a culprit. Can you get your heads around this? Men burning fossil fuels was to cause global cooling and a new ice age. But 10 years later, Ehrlich and Holdren tell us men burning fossil fuels are causing global warming, which will destroy the Earth's surface, making the Earth uninhabitable. We will now take a closer look at Noah's chart. The dotted line here shows the rise in carbon dioxide. There is no large amount of carbon dioxide before the 30s to cause the great heat of the 30s. After 1930, there is a great rise in carbon dioxide, but no great heat in the 21st century. Couldn't the heat of the 30s have caused the rise in carbon dioxide? Historically, the carbon dioxide rise follows the rise in temperature. Oceans make up 71% of the Earth's surface. The oceans are a vast reservoir of carbon dioxide because plants and animals that die decompose and release carbon dioxide into the cold water. Cold water doesn't release the carbon dioxide. It was hot in the early part of the 20th century and extremely hot in the 30s. The heat from the sun came down and slowly penetrated this very deep ocean into the depths and eventually warmed up this cold water and released the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It is a fact that when heat is applied to a body of cold water, the carbon dioxide is released and driven out.